Justice Yellin Bogoro of the Federal High Court in Ikoyi has sentenced two women, Folake, Adeoti and Modupe, Adewuyi, to 1 year in prison for hawking large sums of Naira notes in violation of the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Act. In a statement released on Sunday by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, both women were convicted on separate one-count charges bordering on illegal trading of currency. The charges were brought by the Lagos State Zonal Directorate 1 of the Anti-Graft Agency. Adeoti, a repeat offender previously convicted for the same crime, was arrested on March 21, 2025 in Ikeja while hawking 3.85 million naira in CBN-issued notes. Adewuyi was nabbed the same day also in Ikeja with 1.6 million naira in 500 naira and 1,000 naira denominations. Both defendants pleaded guilty. Justice Bogoro sentenced Adeoti to 1 year imprisonment with no option of fine and ordered the forfeiture of a POS machine and seized cash to the federal government. Adewuyi received the same jail term but was given an option of a 500,000 naira fine. Her POS and cash were also forfeited. The EFCC reiterated its warning against Naira abuse, noting that hawking, spraying and mutilation of the currency are punishable offenses under the law. Let's get your thoughts on this report.
I have a mixed feeling over this matter. On a personal note, I am not one to be found spraying money. It doesn't appeal to me.
Okay.
Even if I'm going to give you ₦1 million, that is if I have ₦1 million to give at an event, I'd rather have it in an envelope and hand it over to the person, whatever the event is. But this is one of the, let's say, crazy cultures that have come to stay in Nigeria. And it seems to have gained acceptance of a diverse culture and maybe even religion, because you see it at even, I don't want to use the term religious event, because when I use religious event, people may think of maybe you see money spraying at church and mosque. No, that is not what I mean. I mean events organized by people you would have thought that are religious. They seem to have spread, maybe a religious guy is having a wedding or something. Somehow they still spray money there, and some of the people who spray the money also, religious people also. But it's something that I don't know, as a person, it has not really appealed to me. I don't get the jerk about.
What exactly do you think is wrong with it?
Spraying money. For me, I think it's a culture steeped in showmanship.
Okay.
You want to, I was at an event, I've seen an event where money was being sprayed, and they have people who pick up those money immediately, and the MC was like, oh please, as they spray the money, allow it for some time on the floor before picking it, so the video can capture it very well. So it's a showmanship. Even though spraying the money, there is a hailing, like a hype man, something gets into their head and the guy is spraying the currency. Meanwhile, the same money would have still been given to the celebrant without much ado, but he wants to be seen as, sort of, do you know how much I spray? And then if I follow what the MC said, they want to capture it to say, like, see money when they spray and all that. So it's a funny culture. Anyway, like I said, it's steeped in showmanship. It's not something that appealed to me. Now, having said that, on whether that should be regulated, ordinarily, I am not one who wants to regulate for people how they spend their money, if such money is genuinely earned.
Right. If
you genuinely earn your money and want to spray it like you're spraying water on the road, as you're going, the money keep falling off you, I wouldn't bother myself about that. Once it's your money genuinely earned and it has no effect whatsoever on society. But again, here is where the challenge lies, having effect on society. Definitely the culture of spraying money has some effect. It makes people want to go overboard to get money so that they can equalize themselves in the art of spraying money. But like I said, if it is your genuinely earned money, you guys can go ahead and have the competition. And I also understand that the currency being sprayed is the Nigerian Naira. A symbol, or a national symbol, as it were. To that extent, I think the government may not be completely out of order if it regulates how our national symbol is used, trying to say, oh, there should be some respect on how you use the national symbol, especially when you consider that people step on it, I wonder if there's any other culture outside of Nigeria or maybe outside of Africa where this culture of spraying money is. But, but like I said, it's a national symbol. I think the government may be in order to want to regulate how that national symbol is abused. Now, the concern of the government is not because people are being wasteful, or rather because people are abusing the national symbol.
Now, let's come back to the report. The report, did talk about 2 women that have now been sentenced to prison for racketeering. Now, where do they get this money from? When I go to the bank could look at me and say, we can't give you 100,000. You can take so amount. You can do your transfer with your bank app. We can't give you as cash. Where do these ladies source this cash?
Now, before you cut me, I was going to find fault with the whole system, Now, the one you talked about is one side of it. There is the other side of it. The agency which, has prosecuted them. This is just one of the many things the agency should do. And if you ask me in Nigeria, this is the list on what they should do. Economic and financial crimes. There are some other economic crimes that has affected the country terribly, which is what Nigerians are looking at for this agency to pursue vigorously and get convictions. There are many acts of money laundering which has left the country in a deplorable state, which many Nigerians, if you sample their opinion, would have preferred to see that the effort used in arresting these minor criminals, as it were, is expended in pursuing the bigger criminals and that commit bigger crime, so as to save the country. Now to the question you asked. First, the Money Laundering Act forbid an individual to have certain amount of cash at a time. I think, I don't know if that has been updated, but I think at a time an individual should not be found maybe possessing 1 million or 5 million naira, So to that extent, they may have even violated that. Then trafficking in money is another offense on its own. Then to the issue you raised, going to the bank, like you said, you go to the bank, you won't get that cash. Maybe let's even pretend that maybe they got it from different banks. But you see, if you notice the kind of money these people sell, it's usually mint.
So where do they get it?
Yes, it's usually mint. And most time when you go to the bank, across the counter, on the ATMs, you hardly find that kind of money dispensed to you. So it does suggest that maybe there is something happening within the bank. Maybe they reserve this mint, and probably that is where the money laundering even starts from. Maybe they sell to some of these people, and I think that is where the agency should even look into more, beyond arresting and prosecuting these people, which is, like I said, the minor side of it. But there should also be the question of how did they get this money? Who gave them this money? It happens over and over again. And these people that even sell this money, if you look at it, if you have seen some of them, I don't think they are the owners of this money. They do. So a proper investigation needs to be carried out more to know how these things come about, how they come about these mint currencies. Now,
on one hand, I did ask how they encountered the money. Do you know that many ATM machines no longer work?
Absolutely. Over the years now, hardly would you ever walk into any ATM machine stand and you see maybe they have 6 stand there and you find all 6 working. They don't work. At best, you can get one working. Over the weekend or holiday, by the time you get to Sunday, almost all the ATM are exhausted. But funny thing is that the POSs around them keep having money every time. Now, one would have thought that the use of POS would have been in remote area. Now, my word for remote area does not mean remote area in the strictest sense of it, but in, like, if I'm in this particular location and I consider going to the bank from here, maybe because there is no, of course, the banks can be everywhere. Yeah. So in this location now, this estate, there is no bank here, and I consider the cost of going to the bank, it equals what I'll spend using the POS people here. So I would rather patronize the POS rather than spending time and resources going to the bank. But you see, a situation where in front of the banks, POSs are thriving. In front of ATM stand, you come to a location where you have 3 to 4 ATM stands of different banks, and each of these stands have up to 5 POS. Yet POS businesses are thriving because those ATMs don't have money. I think it's a little bit scandalous. To many people, it has become the norm that they don't even consider going to the ATM
bank,
because
right.
every time they go there, they are met with disappointment. So
Right.
even in front of a bank that would likely have POS,
ATM
yes,
machines.
ATM machines, people just ignore them and patronize the POS. And for those who you would even call the doubting Thomas, who still believe that there should be money there, most of the times they are met with disappointment. So I think it's a little bit scandalous that the system